At 3 in the morning, my boyfriend sent me a breakup text, so cold it didn't even feel human. By breakfast, Instagram revealed he was on a romantic trip with his coworker, the same woman he always told me was just a friend. Everyone thought I'd chase after answers. Instead, I went silent, and that silence, it destroyed everything he thought he got away with. My name is Mara, 28 years old, living in Portland, a city that looks peaceful on the surface but somehow hides heartbreak inside quiet apartments and late-night cafes. After 2 years with Evan, I had convinced myself that a gentle man was a safe man. He knew how to place a hand on my back when we crossed the street, how to smile when I rambled about nothing, how to hold silence in a way that made me believe he was listening. Looking back, none of that was emotional depth. It was performance comfort rehearsed so well that I mistook it for sincerity. We were planning to move in together. I remember wandering through furniture stores with him, comparing houseplants, imagining our shared life. Evan always said, "If you like it, I like it." Back then, I thought it was sweet. Now I know it was his way of avoiding any real responsibility. The future didn't scare him because he loved me, it scared him because committing meant losing control. For our 2-year anniversary, I gifted him a Hamilton cocky field, the most expensive thing I'd ever saved for. He wore it constantly, took pictures of it in different lighting, and posted it like it was some milestone he achieved on his own. I used to feel warm seeing that. I had no idea that watch would later expose everything. Then came that night, 2:58 a.m., my phone buzzed. In the darkness, the screen lit up with one message that erased 2 years of relationship. "I need space. Don't reach out." No explanation, no call, no courage. Just a breakup text with less emotion than a bank alert. I called twice, voicemail. I lay there staring at the ceiling, waiting for pain to hit me like a wave. But it didn't. Maybe part of me had sensed this ending long before. The next morning, Evan vanished. Facebook unfriended. Snapchat gone. Instagram blocked. He had planned all of this. Every platform, every exit, every silence. But he forgot one thing. His professional Instagram had to stay public for clients. And that was where the cracks began to show. At work, Diana walked to my desk and placed her phone in front of me like a detective presenting evidence. The moment I saw the word Lisbon, a cold clarity washed over me. First story, a luxury hotel suite. Second, a breakfast for two. Third, Evan on the balcony smiling a smile I once thought belonged to me. And there, glinting under the Lisbon sun, was the Hamilton watch I had bought him, shining like betrayal. Then came the tag, at Zarlev, the junior colleague who held him a bit too long at the Christmas party. The one I had a gut feeling about but shut down because love makes you want to trust even when your instincts scream otherwise. Strangely, my heart didn't shatter. Instead, something aligned, like my mind finally matched the truth my intuition had known for months. Diana looked at me, waiting for an explosion, but I simply breathed out and said, "I'm fine." And I was. For the first time in a long while, I was fully awake. Evan thought breaking up with me set him free. What he didn't know was that he had just lit the fuse of a story he would never be able to control. And as for me, I hadn't even started. Driving home after leaving Evan's family house felt surreal. The city outside the windshield looked the same as always, coffee shops lit with warm light, people walking hand in hand, laughter trailing behind bar entrances, but I felt strangely disconnected from it all. My hands rested loosely on the steering wheel while my mind drifted somewhere between anger and clarity. Somehow, clarity was winning. When I finally stepped inside my apartment, I turned on every light, as if brightness could keep the truth from sinking its teeth into me. I sat on the couch, closed my eyes for a moment, and realized the strangest part. I wasn't heartbroken anymore. I was awake, sharply awake. The next morning, while I was pouring coffee, my phone buzzed with so many notifications I had to set the mug down. Diana was blowing up my messages. She sent photos from a networking event hosted by one of their partner companies. There he was, Evan, standing beside Zara like she'd always belonged under his arm. Not sneaking around, not whispering. They were standing in front of people from work, openly, comfortably, like the trip to Lisbon wasn't a secret but a celebration. I zoomed into the photos. Evan's hand rested low on Zara's back, the kind of placement you only use with someone you're used to touching. Zara leaned into him like the two of them had been practicing this choreography for months. Diana called, almost fuming, whispering harshly, "Mara, they're not even hiding it. Everyone's talking. People thought he was on a work trip. He's there acting like a bachelor with his new toy." Her anger wasn't for gossip, it was for me. That evening, my phone rang again. Evan's name flashed on the screen. Her voice trembled with a strain I wasn't used to hearing. "Mara, do you know where Evan is? He's not answering. He told me he was in Seattle with his team." She paused, then added something that made my stomach tighten. "He sounded strange yesterday, different, cold." I could have told her everything. I could have let the truth spill out right then. Instead, I said gently, maybe look at his work Instagram. A silence stretched before she whispered, horrified, oh God, he lied. He lied to me. 30 minutes later, another message arrived. I need to see you tonight, please. I debated not going. But some stories need to end in person, so there is no confusion about who walked away and who was left behind. When I stepped into their living room, the air felt heavy, like the stillness before a storm. Zara sat stiffly on the couch, hands clasped tightly together, eyes darting anywhere but toward me. Evan sat beside her, shoulders tense, face pale. His mother stood before them, arms crossed, disappointment radiating off her like heat. She didn't ease into it. Explain, now. Evan swallowed hard and tried to string together words that sounded like an apology but lacked the backbone of one. I just thought, we weren't working anymore. I needed space. Things got complicated. I let out a short, humorless laugh. Complicated? Did it get complicated before or after you booked the tickets to Lisbon? Zara straightened, trying to regain some composure. We didn't do anything wrong. You two broke up. Evan told me it was over. His mother turned on her sharply, her voice low but razor-edged. Over? Over as in a breakup text at 3 in the morning? Or over when you both boarded a plane the same day? Zara's lip quivered. Evan dropped his gaze to the floor. The room fell quiet except for the faint hum of the refrigerator. Standing there, watching the both of them fold in on themselves, I realized something important. Their chaos had nothing to do with me anymore. Their choices had built this spiral long before I arrived tonight. I no longer felt the need to fix anything. So I stood. I don't think there's anything else I need to hear. Mara, wait. Evan's voice cracked like someone desperately grabbing for a railing as they slipped. I want to talk. Just talk. I turned, meeting his eyes one last time, and said calmly, I wanted to talk too. You made sure I couldn't. Then I walked out, leaving Evan, Zara, and all their excuses behind, the sound of their unraveling fading as the door clicked shut. Driving home that night, I didn't turn on any music. The only sound was the steady hum of the engine, and my own breathing, slow and controlled. It felt strange how calm I was. Not numb, not detached, just clear. As if Evan's lies had finally settled into place, forming a picture I should have seen months ago. When I walked through my door, I set my keys down, stood for a moment in the quiet of my apartment, and felt the weight in my chest lift inch by inch. No tears, no shaking hands. Just a silent acceptance that something inside me had snapped back into alignment. I opened my laptop and navigated to the shared folder we once used to plan our move-in together. Everything was still there. Receipts, furniture orders, screenshots of decor ideas, and the deposit contract for the apartment. As I scrolled through the documents, one pattern became very clear. My name appeared on every payment, every deposit, every bill. Evan hadn't paid a single dollar. He had always said, I'll transfer it later, with that easy smile of his. Later never came. Later was never real. I drafted a clear, concise email to the leasing office, attaching proof of all payments and requesting cancellation. Their reply came within an hour. Contract terminated. Refund on the way. The future Evan and I once planned dissolved with a single click, and I felt lighter for it. Next, I reopened Evan's professional Instagram account. All the Lisbon stories were still up. The hotel suite, the brunch for two, Zara giggling behind the camera, Evan's hand on her back. I saved everything not out of spite, but because truth is most powerful when delivered without commentary. With steady fingers, I composed an anonymous email to their HR department. I believe the company may want to review employee conduct during official travel. I attached the photos and videos. No accusations. No accusations needed. The truth was loud enough. That afternoon, Diana called from work, her voice lowered, like she was sharing forbidden intel. Mara, HR pulled them into a meeting. Zara came out crying. Evan, looks like someone stole his soul. I didn't gloat. I didn't need to. They did this to themselves, I said simply. Another weight lifted. Later that night, I checked my inbox and found a long email from Evan. A desperate one. He apologized for letting things get out of hand, said he never meant to hurt me, and claimed Zara was a mistake. The part that almost made me laugh was, I still love you. A message written only after consequences began to catch up with him. I closed the email without replying. Before going to bed, I opened my closet and saw the black Hamilton box tucked behind some old scarves. I pulled it out and lifted the lid. The watch rested quietly inside, polished and perfect, untouched since the day I took it back. Once, I associated it with possibility. Now, it represented clarity. I placed it on the highest shelf, not out of sentiment, but as a reminder of the lesson I refused to forget. Around midnight, my phone buzzed again. Evan, please talk to me. Just once. I can explain everything. I stared at the message in the dim light of my bedroom. For so long, he had been the person I wanted reassurance from. Now, his words felt foreign, almost irrelevant. I switched my phone to Do Not Disturb, set it face down, and turned off the lights. Silence filled the room, not heavy, not hollow, but peaceful. And that silence was my answer to him. A week passed, and for the first time in months, my mornings felt different. I wasn't waking up with anxiety or checking my phone for messages that never came. My days had a strange, gentle rhythm. Now quiet coffee, sunlight through the blinds, a little music in the background. Then, early one morning, Diana called again, sounding breathless. "Mara, you won't believe this. Evan's officially been demoted. No client work, no travel privileges, nothing. And Zara? She's been removed from the major project she bragged about for weeks." I took a slow sip of my coffee as she talked. I didn't feel smug or thrilled. I felt settled. Everything that happened to them made perfect logical sense. Like the universe simply rearranged things back to where they belonged. That evening, as I was folding laundry, Evan messaged me again, another long, rambling paragraph. "Mara, I'm begging you. I'm so sorry. I didn't know things would spin this far out of control. Zara was nothing. I was confused. I miss you. I need you. Please, just one conversation." I paused mid-fold, letting the fabric rest in my hands. If this had happened months ago, if he had said even half of these words with sincerity, I might have forgiven him. But this wasn't remorse. It was fear of losing the only person who had ever truly cared for him. I typed 3 simple words, "Not anymore, Evan." I didn't wait for his reply. I didn't need to dot in the days that followed. I started rebuilding my space piece by piece. I bought small decorative items that I'd always wanted but never bought. I cleaned out my closet, rearranged my furniture, and repainted the bedroom wall, a warm beige that made the room feel like a fresh start. I cooked meals Evan never liked. I played music he always said was too loud. The more I added back into my life, the more I realized how much of myself I had shrunk just to make him comfortable. One quiet afternoon, I reorganized the last drawer in my dresser and found the Hamilton watch box again. I opened it slowly. The watch shimmered under the afternoon light, as flawless as the day I bought it. I waited for the ache in my chest. It didn't come. All I felt was distance. I closed the box and placed it back, deeper this time, out of sight, out of significance. Later that night, I stepped out onto my balcony. The air was cool, tinged with the smell of rain on concrete. Below me, the city hummed with weekend energy, cars passing, people laughing, a distant chorus of nightlife. I leaned on the railing and breathed in deeply. For the first time in a long while, I felt fully present, fully me. People often say, living well is the best revenge. I used to think that was klitsch. Standing under the balcony lights, I finally understood it. Revenge wasn't making Evan suffer. It wasn't watching his career crumble or knowing he regretted choosing Zara. Revenge was realizing I no longer cared. Revenge was freedom. Revenge was peace. I went back inside, turned off the balcony light, and closed the door gently. The sound was soft, final, almost symbolic, like sealing off an old chapter. In that moment, I knew something with absolute certainty. Evan was no longer a part of my story. I was finally writing my own.